Net. Wait for text. Initials Alpha Romeo. Net. Wait for text. Initials Alpha Romeo. Wait for text. Initials Alpha.
18 was busy a few minutes ago, but 15 was clear.
Okay, come here. Count again.
Number 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Osprey Yankee.
Okay, come here. Count again.
Number 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Osprey Yankee.
Okay, come here. Count again.
Number 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Osprey Yankee.
Okay, come here. Count again.
Number 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Osprey Yankee.
Okay, come here. Count again.
Number 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Osprey Yankee.
North
Victor Lima, go.
Okay, come here. Count again.
Delta 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Oscar Yankee. Victor Lima, go.
Delta 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Oscar Yankee. Victor Lima, go.
Delta 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Oscar Yankee. Victor Lima, go.
Delta 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Oscar Yankee. Victor Lima, go.
Delta 606.
Okay, we QSL North Carolina, and thanks so much.
Glad you're participating with QRZ from Kilo 4 Foxtrot Oscar Yankee.
Pennsylvania County, PIT County, over.
Pennsylvania County. I don't know if I got that.
Pennsylvania County, PIT County, over.
Pennsylvania County. Yeah, I don't know if I got that right.
Pennsylvania County, PIT County, over.
Pennsylvania County. Yeah, I don't know if I got that right.
Pennsylvania County, PIT County, over.
Pennsylvania County. Yeah, I don't know if I got that right.
Pennsylvania County, PIT County, over.
Pennsylvania County. Yeah, I don't know if I got that right.
Pennsylvania County, PIT County, over.
Pennsylvania County. Yeah, I don't know if I got that right.
Pennsylvania County, PIT County, over.
Pennsylvania County.
Luck. 7-3. QRZ, the Virginia QSO Party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. CQ, the Virginia QSO Party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. CQ, the Virginia QSO Party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. CQ, the Virginia QSO Party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. CQ, the Virginia QSO Party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. CQ, the Virginia QSO Party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. CQ, the Virginia QSO Party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor.
November 6th, Delta Whiskey Stroke 4.
Again?
November 6th, Delta Whiskey Stroke 4.
Okay, I got November 6th.
It's November 6th, Delta Whiskey. Denmark, Washington, Stroke 4.
Okay, we got it there. N6DW, N6DW, okay. You are number 216, number 216, Covington. Again? Okay, I got November 6th.
It's November 6th, Delta Whiskey. Denmark, Washington, Stroke 4.
Okay, we got it there. N6DW, N6DW, okay. You are number 216, number 216, Covington. Again? Okay, I got November 6th. We got it there. N6DW, N6DW, okay. You are number 216, Covington. Again? Okay, I got November 6th.
Kilo November 4, Tango Charlie Foxtrot.
The Kilo Echo 4, Kilo Echo 4, over.
Kilo November 4, Tango Charlie Foxtrot. Kilo November 4, Tango Charlie Foxtrot.
It's awfully weak here, I did get Kilo Echo 4, but that's all I have gotten for sure is Kilo Echo 4, over.
Kilo November 4, Tango Charlie Foxtrot.
Kilo Echo 4, over. I think we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer till the band changes. It's just not quite enough for me to copy, over. It's awfully weak here, I did get CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. Echo 4, over. CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. I think we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer till the band changes. It's just not quite enough for me to copy, over. It's awfully weak here, I did get CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. Echo 4, over. CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. I think we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer till the band changes. It's just not quite enough for me to copy, over. It's awfully weak here, I did get CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. Echo 4, over. CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. I think we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer till the band changes. It's just not quite enough for me to copy, over. It's awfully weak here, I did get CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. Echo 4, over. CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar Victor. I think we're going to have CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie Oscar. QSL 92 Maryland, thank you so much. QR. Running to 100 watts, over. Yeah, mine's at 40, an inverted V at 40, so hey, it's getting better. Thank you. The other station, again, please. Did I have another station in there?
Kilo Alpha 4, call Foxtrot Yankee.
Foxtrot Yankee, KA4GFY. Kilo Alpha 4 Golf Foxtrot Yankee, is that correct? Hey, it's getting better. Thank you. The other station, again, please. Do I have a Kilo Alpha 4 Golf Foxtrot Yankee, over? Did I have another station in there? Foxtrot Yankee, okay, very good. You are number 221, number 221, Covington, CVX, over. Kilo Alpha 4 Golf. Thank you. Thank you. The other station, again, please. Do I have a Kilo Alpha 4 Golf Foxtrot Yankee, over? Did I have another station in there? Foxtrot Yankee, okay, very good. You are number 221. QSL, nice signal, nice signal. Thank you for the contact. QRZ Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4 Charlie Oscar Victor. CQ, the Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie, Oscar, Victor.
Kilo Mike 4, Victor, Tango, Echo.
USL, nice signal.
Again, ending in Echo.
Kilo Mexico 4, Victor, Tango, Echo.
Okay, Kilo Mike 4, Victor, Tango, Echo. You are number 223, Covington, CVX, over.
Yeah, roger that. Please copy number 2121 from Georgia, Golf Alpha.
All right, let's see if I have that right. I have it as number 41, number 41, Georgia, over.
Negative 2121.
All right, 21, legal age in Georgia, over.
Roger that. 73, have fun in the contest.
Thank you, appreciate it. QRZ Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie, Oscar, Victor. All right, let's see if I have that right. I have it as number 41, Georgia, over.
Negative 2121.
All right, 21, legal age in Georgia, over.
73, have fun in the contest.
Thank you, appreciate it. QRZ Virginia QSO party from Whiskey 4, Charlie, Oscar, Victor. All right.
Again, I won't take up your time. The people, I'm sure people are trying to get you. I just want to stay on. Hey, good luck to you, Gene. We'll catch you next time.
Okay, Floyd, I appreciate the call. I do. And, yeah, sorry about losing Doug. Okay, the other station that was calling, we appreciate you hanging on. Hope we hung on for you. It's W4COV.
Kilo Mike 4, Oscar, Zulu Hotel, Mobile, Prince William.
Okay, KM4OZH/M. And you are number 225, Covington, CVX, over.
Thanks for the 225 from Covington, and you are 204,204 in Prince William, PRW. Papa Romeo Whiskey.
It wanted to give me more because we knew better now. It'd be in the mobile. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Like those contacts.
Thank you. 7 straight.
November 4, Kilo Romeo Oscar, QRP.
Very good modulation there. CQ's the old friend. The Old Friends Group is an open group, and we welcome those listening to participate. Am I putting out enough modulation here? Like Cassos? Yeah, I guess so. The Old Friends Group is an open group, and we welcome those listening to participate. Another thing here. Let me see. The Old Friends Group is on this frequency Sunday and Tuesday morning, 3715, with Charlie, W4MEC as your net control station on Tuesday. The Old Friends Group is structured so you can, anybody wants to talk about a piece of equipment, feel free to do so. If you want to sell a piece of equipment, that's up to you. Stations wishing to check into the Old Friends Group, come now, please.
BA4, LLR.
K4 GDN.
WF2U.
K1 VVC.
November 4 Alpha Kilo N4 AK.
W4VRO.
K4 VWD.
Yeah, the last one didn't have any modulation on it, so we'll try that in another minute or two. I got Dave, WA4LLR, up in Burnsville. A little cool today, I guess, but no rain. and then George, GDN, K4 GDN, out in Myrtle Beach. You're probably bathing in the sunshine out there. And I don't know if you have any of the college crowd there, like in the rest of the areas. Let's see, after George, we got WF2U here. And following there, we got W2CQH, Reed. Following there, we got John, K1VVC. 2s and 1s. Over in South Carolina, and then Glenn, N4AK. A little down in signal today, as well as some other stations. The band is sort of not too hot. And following Glenn, we'll get a report from Ray what happened to his transmitter. Last week you went off abruptly there, Ray. And we're curious what happened to you. And then Lee, K4VWD, voice with distinction. That's, he's in the southeast, I think, Greenville. I gotta look at one of these days on the map and find out exactly where you are. And with that, we'll see who else is around. This is K4 Delta Echo for the Old Friends Group.
Jim, after Glenn is Ray, VRO, and then me.
N4LQ. AK, VRO, and VWD, right?
Correct.
Okay, I guess I didn't read it off that way, Lee. I beg your pardon. Any other stations? N4LQ.
WA4FTY.
I got Wayne in there, WA4FTY, and a little heterodyne adjacent to him. Heterodyne, go ahead.
KJ4YEV.
Hey, Jim, Charlie was in there.
Okay, well, I got YEV, KJ4YEV. I think that's Al. So, round. And then I got, that was before him, I beg your pardon. FTY, right after VWD, we got FTY, then YEV, and LQ, Steve. And for LQ. Any others?
You had right before Wayne, MEC.
Oh, that must have been that little heterodyne I heard in there. W4 MEC. I'll sort of wedge him between Lee and Wayne. Okay, any others?
Kilowatt, November 4, Romeo.
I heard a W. One more time, please.
Kilowatt, November 4, Romeo.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. KN4R, Brian. I don't know if there's another station in there with a W or not, but we'll get him here. And any others at this time? Yeah, we had a little bit of a wiggle and jiggle here to get all the stations, but I think we got most of them. I'll read them out and see if I'm right. WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville. followed by George, K4GDN in Myrtle Beach, followed by Mir, WF2U in Gallinsville, and then over to Atlanta area, W2CQH, Reed. Following Reed, we got John, K1VVC, over here in South Greer, and then Glenn, and Sunset, and 4AK. Following Glenn, we got Ray, and W4VRO, in the middle of, I think it was Raymond. I know we discussed this a couple of weeks ago. Raymond in this Central Georgia, if I get that right. And following Ray, we got Wayne. Haven't heard you in a few weeks, so I hope everything's okay. And everything's okay here. So let's see. After Wayne, I got Al. I think it's KJ4 YEV. Al, if I can decipher this here. And then Steve, W4LQ. And I don't know why propagation is not too good over into the eastern part of the state here, but maybe it's because you guys live up in North Carolina. Anyway, private joke. After Steve over in Shelby, we've got KN4R, Brian. And Brian's over in Shoals Fort, over in by Lake Norman. And I'll stand by for any additional check-ins at this time before we go around. Come down, please.
You left out Charlie. Charlie comes after me, K4VWD.
Yeah, I put him over here after you, but I put him off over on the left-hand side, so he's in there right after Ray. Is that okay, Lee?
Okay, well, last time you said he was after me, so whatever.
Okay, that's the case. It'll be after you. We'll leave it after you. I have a line right parallel to you, and I got Charlie's name on that, so it was my screw up there. I should have gone down another 1/8 of an inch. Any others? Stand by. Okay, and this week this coming week would normally be a luncheon, but because all the places are pretty much closed, or let's say they're sit-down facilities, or not working or functioning. And we've gone out and ordered food, and I had to go to the restaurants and pick it up at the door. So there's no catering. And you guys can work that out. I'm not going to be able to make it anyway. I'm still recuperating from the stuff I had, and I'd just as soon stay secure. Feel that way. So with that, sorry for the dragging out here. WA4LLR. Dave, it's up to you. K4DW and the rest of the group stand by.
DVD, the luncheon's not this coming week, but the week after.
Okay. Go ahead, Lee. Not Lee, Dave.
Okay. K4DEE and the old friends, WA4LLR. Good afternoon to everybody on the net. Copying everybody okay. Some signals are not quite as strong as I'm used to hearing them, but no problem. We've got about 52 degrees, overcast, breezy up here in the hills, rain coming tonight. So, that's the way it's going. And interesting times that we're on a little micro FM transmitter that we've got in there. So that was different. Never done that before. Anyway, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. George, down to you. Hope you've got better weather down there on the beach. K4 GDN in the group, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR group, K4 GDN. And let me see something here. Bring up something. Something's not cooking right here for some reason. I'm not sure what. Let's see here. Anyway, I'm gonna pass it on to WF2U in the group, K4 GDN.
Roger, K4 GDN and the group. This is WF2U. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. It's definitely a little chill in the air after yesterday. It feels that way. And another small group, but signals are pretty good, and everybody sounds good. I'll give reports in the next over, so let's give it to John here. K1 VVC and the group WFDU.
Actually, it goes to Reed. Go ahead, Reed.
Thank you, John. WF2U, W2CQH. Down here near Atlanta where it's raining. About 55 degrees. And I'm getting accustomed to the hermit mode. Down here in my basement hermitage, I guess is the word. Haven't driven a car in 12 days. I may need some driver training. I wonder if that's available on the internet. And we have a famous member on the net, Charlie. I read his article in, I believe it's the April QST. And like you, Charlie, I physically disconnect all my feeders when I go up the air. I don't believe in switches or lightning arresters. So, on to John, K1 BBC, W2CQH.
Yeah, very good. W2CQH in the group, K1 VVC. And, boy, I'll tell you, all the signals are coming in great today. Not having any trouble copying anybody. So there's a big difference probably in the 25 miles between Greer and Easley, Jim. We're all fine here so far, and just putting up with the corona hysteria. It's really out of hand. Over to you, Glenn, N4AK from K1 VVC.
Okay, John, and the group. This is November 4 Alpha Kilo. I'm only running 25 watts today max to a 80 meter doublet. I'm on the ICOM 7300, but I'm receiving on a SDR receiver. And I've got the MFJ 1708 device and line that automatically puts my RF to ground wherever they blow up the SDR receiver. And the new SDR software is SDR Console, which was put out on February the 3rd, 2020. And it has a muting circuit in it, which is fantastic because when it receives a bit of a signal, it will mute it so I can transmit without any howl. It's pretty neat. I noticed, Steve, I had the old SDR console, and when I saw your unit, I realized that must be a new release out, and the S meter is fantastic. It's an analog type S meter that has a gray meter hand that reads your existing noise level, and the red hand will read your S meter reading. So much for that. It's kind of interesting. I hope it's enough for everybody to copy today. I'm in the attic shack, hunkered down from this virus. So, Ray, to you down in Georgia, W4VRO, N4AK.
N4AK, and the group, W4VRO. Very good, Glenn. Hello to you, and hello to Jim, and everyone checking into the net today. It's about 60 degrees here and partly sunny. We've had a few brief and light showers. And expect a lot more rain tomorrow. 25 watts with S9 with a little bit of QSD. Very good signal. A lot of signals are weaker here today than usual. Dave and Brian are weaker than usual. But everyone else is very strong. Jim, you asked about my signal disappearing last Sunday. I checked into the net, and when it was my turn, I keyed the mic, had full output, and then it was gone. RF output completely disappeared from the Johnson 500. Today I'm using the ICOM 7300. I've had an intermittent problem with the 500 and have been looking for it. So after last Sunday, I looked in earnest to find what the problem was, and all of the relays in the power supply for the 500 were replaced by the previous owner, and they look like very good quality relays, and the work was done well. But one of the relays was failing to hold in or hold contact at times, and sometimes it would make contact and then, without saying anything about it, drop out. So glad to find what the problem was. I located a relay exactly like it on the internet and ordered it coming from California. So with the virus situation, I have no idea when I'll get it. But when I do get that relay replaced, I'll be back on the Johnson 500 and meanwhile using the ICOM 7300. Lee, you're sounding good today. Over to you, K4VWD and the group, W4VR.
Yeah, okay, Ray, very good. This is K4VWD. Well, your ICOM's sounding good here in Greenville, and I'm glad you found a problem. I'd be curious, once you get that relay out of there, why the relay didn't work. Was the coil not strong enough, or just what? Jim, you're doing fine. You know, it takes us all to get this list together so we can operate. But Jim, you're doing just fine. And I couldn't copy George. It may be my tuning, so maybe I can copy him this next time around. I sure hope so. So, Charlie, here she comes. W4MEC in the group, K4VWD.
K4VWD and the old friends, W4MEC. Hello, everybody. I was just taking a moment to look at my freak counter, and I don't know if I'm on 13.6 or 19.6 because the segment that makes it either a 9 or a 3 is burned out or may not make in connection. So anyway, signals are a little up and down today, a little different. And George came up towards the end of his transmission, but I didn't even hear him check in on at the first. But otherwise, everybody is Q5 or better right now. And not a whole lot going on. Like Reed, haven't really gone anywhere. My wife's done and run a couple of missions into town. We finally got our first infected person here, and I haven't heard anything today about it. He's up in Mission Hospital in Asheville, and I guess they're going to track down everybody he's been near. But he wasn't like somebody working in Ingalls, so that's good. On Tuesday, I can't remember if I mentioned my freezer failure, my chest freezer that I've had for over 40 years. It's been running for over 40 years. And I believe what happened was when my daughter-in-law and wife loaded it up, because it was only about half full, they brought in a bunch of stuff, and I think the freezer, in its attempt to bring all those items down to 0 or better, the valves in the compressor finally gave up, and it could only maintain about 19 degrees. So there's not a freezer to be found anywhere around here. The dates for delivery are, they'll tell you maybe April, maybe May, but when you talk to them, they say, well, that's just kind of a fake number. It's just the computer generates that number, because nobody would have to wait that long for a freezer, but apparently so. But my son was in Waukegan working on his house, getting ready to come home, and he found a brand new Frigidaire freezer, which we bought, and he dutifully put on our trailer that he had up there with him, and brought it to North Carolina, and we just got done transferring all the stuff into the new freezer. So that's luck or divine intervention to transport a freezer 725 miles to North Carolina. But we got one, that's good. Onward and upward. Over to you, Wayne. WA4FTY in the group, W4Me6.
Now, a big hello to everybody, and I hope all's well. Everything here is about status quo. Nobody's sick. And we got rain coming in from Atlanta. It's creeping in through Augusta right now. And I got tremendous QSB. I guess it's because of the flow of all of this rain. Every time Jim told me who to turn it to, QSB took it out. So I don't know. And again, I hope all's well with everybody. It's 59.7 here currently. And the rain has not started yet. It's still sneaking in. I can see it on the radar behind me on my computer. I don't have anything special to report. Nothing really special, but once again, that's pretty status quo here. Well, the grocery store is here about the same as everywhere else. When my wife and I went on Senior Citizen Day this past Wednesday, I turned on the aisle in my little grocery cart, and there was a lady, she come down behind me, and she looked around on the aisle I turned on to, happened to be the paper aisle with the toilet tissue, and there was nothing. She said, "Oh my God." And she reached over and picked up a package of dinner napkins. She said, "These are more expensive, but I gotta have something." And I said, "Hey lady, you save money, buy yourself a toilet brush." And she said she didn't think she'd do that. So, it's about the same everywhere. A lot of people panicking. There was absolutely nothing on that aisle. All the paper towels and the toilet tissue was all gone. Y'all probably seen that too. Some people just go off the deep end. I remember when I was a kid, I'd go see my grandmother. She lived on the poor side of Florence, and she had an outhouse, a two-holer outhouse, and she had a rolling basket full of corn cobs. Well, things have gotten better, I think. Well, that's enough all that mess. Well, don't know who to turn it to. Sorry about that. QSB kept taking it out. Jim, I'll turn it back to you. I hope you copy. K4DE, WA4FTY.
Yeah, okay, Wayne. Very good. And especially about the two-holer there. We had one too. Out in a bungalow that we have. Anyway, YEV. Al, go ahead. This is K4DEE.
K4DEE and the old friends net. This is KJ4YEV. Guys, seems like conditions are pretty noisy today, at least over here in this part of North Carolina. It's been a struggle to hear just about everybody, but I can usually hear pretty good, so I'll keep it kind of short. I'm just hunkered down here trying to not catch the virus, trying to wash my hands a lot and do all the stuff they tell me to do, but so far we've only had one case here in Gaston County, so hopefully there won't be too many more, but I'm going to keep it brief. I believe I send it over to Steve, N4LQ. I believe that's correct. N4LQ, this is KJ4YEV, over to you. Keep it kind of short. I'm just hunkered down here trying to not catch the virus, trying to wash my hands a lot and do all the stuff they tell me to do, but so far we've only had one case here in Gaston County, so hopefully there won't be too many more, but I believe I send it over to Steve, N4LQ. I believe that's correct. N4LQ, this is KJ4YEV, over to you.
N4R. I know you heard Steve, but we'll see if Brian's there. Brian, you there? Over?
Jim, I'm on the phone. Go ahead and I'll catch the next round. This is KN4R.
Okay, very fine. Everything's okay then. We'll catch you next time. And we'll stand by for any additional check-ins at this time. Come now, please. And for say again? Okay, N4YN, go ahead. Give us a transmission. This is K4DEE and the Old Friends Group.
Okay, I'm like everybody else. I'm running low power, about 8-10 watts. Fairly decent antenna, but this is a Gons that I've been working on. Everybody's doing pretty good up here. Like I said, there's QSB occasionally, but seems to be holding pretty good. I don't know who's next, Jim, so back to you. K4DEE N4YN.
Okay, Don, very fine. I'm glad you came in there. Now, it's about as bad here as KJ4YEV stated. Very, very noisy. I've got a noise that's a good 10 over 9 most of the time. Does fluctuate slightly, but it goes as high as about 15 over 9. And I've got the noise limiter on the 75A4 in there, and that's clipping some. But when it does that, it also distorts a little bit, so I may miss a little bit of the audio. I heard a little bit of hum on your signal there, Steve. There's about maybe 10 to 20% hum on there, very similar to listening to an FM carrier with PL on it, and or subaudible tone. Anyway, not so sub. Yeah, it's pretty much the same here, everybody. There's hardly any cars on the streets, and most of the places are bringing the catered food or the ordered food out to the cars. If you call up and order it, and we've done that 3 or 4 times here. We got about a good 10 restaurants here. We can do that in the Easley area. A lot of people have been stuck home, and as a result, I noticed there's a lot of tree trimmings that were piled up along the roads. So I did a meal pickup last night, and we're having meal. Usually we go out on Saturday night, but since there's no seating capability, we had to just call it in, and I picked it up. I've done that a couple of times, and we're prepared to do it a few more. Did finally get some chopped meat in the house. Didn't have any chopped meat for a week or two. And my wife was standing there while the guy was still packaging it, and got a couple of packages of that. So along with some other stuff. Not the normal brands that we get, and milk and orange juice and stuff like that are different brands. We usually get Publix brands, and they're not, if they're available, they're not available when we go down there. Anyway, which is later in the day. Stores over here, like the stores over around the other area in town, they have senior times at the stores, which is generally 7 to 8 in the morning, and that's meant for the seniors to get in there and get out and be less crowded for them. So that's been available on most of the stores that are around here, most of the food chains. What else do we have? Fine on the SDR receivers, guys. That's coming along better and better, and making them more applicable to AM, in as much as having the carriers stay on and not operate instantaneously like you would on sideband. And I stand corrected on launch time, I guess. If there is going to be any, it's not going to be this week. I thought today was around the 29th, but I'm probably mistaken. The last week was the St. Patty's Day, Monday, so that's 17. Yeah, I would put it there. Okay, I stand corrected there, Lee. And I know I had a few other comments, but like I had mentioned, signals are rather marginal, and Ray, I'm glad he found the relay that was giving him a problem, and hopefully it'll be in the mail pretty soon. Package delivery is doing good. We've been getting packages every day. Matter of fact, my wife just got one today from somebody she ordered mail order on. So, and with that, I'll keep it rolling. Oh, and Dave, I don't know whether you had recalled back in the 70s, you used to have the drive-in movie theaters, used to have church services. This was down in Florida, and that was a big thing for a long time. And drive-in movie theater churches. So when drive-in movie theater attendance started going down, they started utilizing using the theaters for, they're not really theaters, but the available space, I should say. Over to you, Dave. WA4LLR. Take it. This is K4DEE in the group. Standing by.
Okay, Jim. K4DEE. And the old friends WA4LLR. All right, real good. Well, copying everybody pretty good. Some stations are very strong. Some are not as strong as usual, but on the whole, 100% copy. Glenn, your low power is about as strong as you usually are up here, so it's doing a great job. I think you've just got a super modulating voice. But you're booming in, and Lee always booms in. Charlie, glad you got the freezer before you lost what was in the old one. That's always good, and I am a firm believer in divine intervention, so there you go. Steve, thanks for posting that YouTube video on muting the SDR. That was interesting. And that does help things considerably. I guess I need to download. I've been running SDR Uno, so I probably need to download SDR Console and give that one a shot. Not much more here. Be interesting to see if we have further curfews and restrictions imposed on us. I noticed one news article from Italy that said the doctors were no longer treating people over 60. So that's kind of a sobering thought, especially for most of us. I pray it does not come to that in this country. And it's interesting that malaria drug, hydrochloroquine, seems to be effective against the COVID-19. And saw another article that said they had a mixture of 3 drugs that really seemed to knock it out in 5 days. But, of course, the FDA said it was going to take more testing. So by the time they release it, the epidemic will probably be over. But at least there is some light there at the end of the tunnel, looks like, and I thank God for that. All right, well, let's see. Not much more from here. Just like everybody else, kind of batten down the hatches, get a cup of coffee, and pray hard and ride out the storm. K4GDN and the group, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR, group, this is K4GDN. Just a second, let me check my tuning here.
You're sounding good here, George.
Okay, it seems like it's working fine. I'm on the Drake 4B pair today with the Homebrew 811 right here. And I guess I just haven't really paid attention to the meter indications. I think I'm peaking up at about 200 watts. Here in Myrtle Beach, it's in the low 60s, cloudy. It's supposed to have been raining for the last 2 days, but we haven't got any yet. I imagine it's coming. And I guess we're pretty much like everywhere else. Sometimes the grocery stores have food, sometimes it don't. But Mike and I were doing okay. We keep a few things around, not a whole lot. We managed to stock up a little before things have gotten too bad. Not a whole lot. Haven't had a whole lot of problems. Hamburger was a problem there for a while, and then chicken was a problem, but we finally got that straight. Anyway, I'll keep it on going. So, Mirrod's coming to you. WF2U in a group, K4GDN.
Yeah, K4GDN. This is WF2U. Yeah, very good copy still. And it's interesting. Oh, yeah, okay. First of all, running the DX100B and receiving on the National UNC 300. And everybody has a good signal way over S9. In fact, for some strange reason, Glenn is the weakest signal here, and he's only 5 dB over 9. So Here in our area, it's an interesting situation because we have two big supermarkets, the Ingalls and Philo. It seems that Philo has probably a better supply chain because stuff that I can't get at Ingalls and the shelf is empty, I get it at Philo. It's right across the street. Yeah, just like two big parking lots, and just the road is in between. So it wasn't bad. Like I couldn't get cabbage at Ingalls. They had a full bin of cabbage at Philo. Interestingly enough, looks like everybody's baking at home because there are barely any flour left in either store, and no yeast. We make homemade pizza once in a while, and also I like to bake bread, and I figured that if I don't feel like going to the store, I'll bake a bread or something. No yeast. Well, there are alternatives, but I prefer to do it that way. But also it's a really strange thing. But it looks like it reminded me of like some of the areas at Ingalls reminded me of like pictures that we get from like Venezuela or Cuba. But just like very certain areas of food stuff. I might not necessarily need that, but it's just strange. I guess that we didn't go early enough in the morning. Otherwise, a lot of stuff canceled. Doctors postponed their appointments and so forth. The XYL had some elective stuff to do, and that was postponed. And so I have enough to do now. I have more to do around the house. I have no excuses that I have to go over there. Sitting at home, and I get grabbed by the ears by the XYL, and then do this, do that. Anyway, so. That could be worse. So let's give it to, I guess, Glenn. Somebody's missing in the middle. I think it goes to Glenn. If not, just pick it up, whoever it goes to. N4AK in the group. This is WFTU.
Goes to Reed.
Oh yeah, I missed Reed again. Oh yeah, I know. I didn't even write it down because okay, thanks. Reed, go ahead.
Yeah, WF2U. W2CUH. Yeah, being in the hermit mode has brought on a bit more honeydew jobs than the usual amount. XYL was out to the food store twice since this so-called crisis was announced. Walmart and Kroger, and they seem fairly normal. The shelves have been restocked, and not more than the usual crowd, so the frantic buying spree, I guess, has calmed down. It's over to John at K1VVC, W2CQH.
Yeah, W2CQH, K1VVC. A good copy all around. I think everybody's story with this seems to be pretty much the same. But had a conference call today with my three kids, which was pretty interesting. My daughter set it up on, and everybody had an iPad, so we could all see each other. So he had my daughter in Germany and my son in Detroit, and his family and my other son up in northern Greenville County, and it was pretty interesting. I'd never seen it done quite like that before. But I will say there's just about as much TV as I've seen about as much TV as I want to see, and unfortunately the library is also closed. I took out several books about a week ago, but beat through those pretty quickly. And Charlie, glad to see you. You got a freezer there. Hope this one lasts another 40 years for you. N4AK K1VVC.
Okay, John. K1VVC and the old friends group. This is November 4 Alpha Kilo, and I've read everybody, but Charlie, I'm like you. I had probably a problem copying George down there at the beach. For some reason, I tried couple of different receivers, and I just didn't do it. But Ray, my signal, thank you for the signal report. Even though I'm on the 25 watts, this antenna is higher and really a better antenna than the G5 RV. So maybe that's making up a little bit of the difference. But I hope I've got the audio set up right. This is the first time I've had it on AM. And Steve, this program works very great. I've got you'll understand this, the mean is set at minus 30 dB, and I've got the mute for 300 milliseconds and restore in 50 milliseconds, and that seems to be working okay. But the minus 30 dB is the one that seems to work while I'm transmitting. But I'm yet to get my Omni rig. I've loaded Omni rig, but I hadn't got it working with a 7300 yet to control it. And it may be that I don't understand if I need a new USB cable. Will it work with that one USB cable, or have I got to do virtual USB and all that? You might comment on it. Anyway, if you fellows really get bored with a TV, just download some new software and try to learn it. At our age, that'll give you a nice challenge. So anyway, very enjoyable this afternoon, and no rain here. It's just overcast, in the 50-degree, 54, 55 degrees, somewhere like that outside. And yesterday actually had to run the air conditioner, kind of crazy. So, Ray, glad you got everything figured out with the Johnson 500, and I hope you get a part in or whatever you need. W4VRO in the old friends group, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
N4AK in the group, W4VRO. Well, very good, Glenn. Glenn, you're sounding great. There's some QSB now, and your signal strength is S4 to 5/9. But even when you go down to S4, S5, your audio just has a lot of punch. It sounds real good. Are you using that SM30 Icon mic, Glenn, Break?
Roger. It's the same one that you bought after you told me about it. I'm using the SM30. Over.
It sure sounds good. So you're doing very well. And while we're on the subject of power, Don N4YN running 10 watts. Don, you're getting the job done. The atmospheric noise level here this afternoon is S1 to S2 with occasional static crashes, but they are few and far between. And Don, your signal is right at the noise level around S2, but your Q5, I copied every word on your last transmission, so hope it'll be as good on the next one. But I forget where you're located, Don. You might give me that on the next transmission. Jim, you remembered it exactly. Ray in Raymond, Georgia. There's a little community close by here named Raymond, Georgia, on Highway 16. It has no post office, Glenn. It's smaller than Sunset, South Carolina, if you can believe that. So
Jim, your memory is doing great.
You got that exactly right. That's not my mailing address, but it's the closest little town to me. I live out in rural Coweta County. Charlie, glad you got a refrigerator. I had no idea that refrigerators were hard to find. I guess it makes sense. So many people hoarding and stocking up on everything. I hope they have emergency power if they're stocking up on frozen food. And Lee, I am also curious about what's wrong with this relay. It's totally enclosed, and I haven't removed it from the power supply yet. But when the new one comes in, I'll take the old one apart and see whether it's a coil problem or contacts problem. And I'm curious to find out. And I'll let you know. Well, I hope I haven't forgotten anything. That's all the notes I have. So over to you, Lee. K4VWD in the group, W4VR.
Yeah, okay, Ray, very good. This is K4VWD. Well, I've been trying to get a hold of Joe to see if he was all right, and he finally answered the phone. I had to call him 2 times. I called him about 4 times, and finally, on the 3rd call, he answered, but he couldn't hear me. So I waited a little bit and tried again, and same thing. Well, just now I got a call from him, and he forgot about the net and he was asleep, but he's fine. So Joe's fine. And George, your signal came way up that time. I had no trouble copying you that time. And Glenn, your 25 watts is doing good here in Greenville. And Charlie, I like the others. I'm glad you got a freezer. But my guess is it won't last 40 years like the other one did. Grocery store thing is interesting. I will say this. They've got special hours for seniors, but you got to be very careful about it, because I saw the note on Publix, and it was open at 7 to 8 for seniors. So I got up at 5 o'clock, did my stuff here at the house, and was at the store at 7 o'clock, and they saw me standing out there. So they came out and says, we don't open till 8. And I says, well, what about the senior thing? He said, oh, that's just on a couple of days. So you have to be very careful about which day you go if you're going to go to a store at 7 o'clock, because they're not all open on every day at that time. Now, when I left there, I decided to go to Bilo, which is pretty close. Went down there, and they had absolutely nothing on the shelves. They were just about empty. So, another side story about the grocery stores, my son lives at Edisto Beach. They have a Bilo down there, and it was empty. So he got in the car and drove to Hollywood. Hollywood, South Carolina is about 30 miles north to northeast of Edisto. He went into the Piggly Wiggly there, and they had everything. Toilet paper, ground beef. They had hand wash, cleaning materials. He said the store was loaded. So if you want to drive for 3.5 hours or so to go to the Piggly Wiggly in Hollywood, you might be able to find what you need. Oh, man. Well, enough of that. Up to you, Charlie. W4MEC, K4VWD.
Frank, W4 Whiskey Zulu.
Yeah, Joe, just hang in there a minute, if you would. We got you.
It's Charlie.
Jim, the K4 DEE. Over.
Okay. Okay, all right. Well, let me twist a knob or two. I slept right through the net. Now you woke me up a little bit too late. I needed to sleep. Dead to the world up there for the last couple of 3 hours. And I needed it, man. Anyway, I'm on here now. I'll pick up whatever's left of the net. We're still just the cat and myself.
and the cat doesn't wake me up, you know, and all the rest of the kids are out doing whatever it takes to survive in this mess. So, give it back to you, Charlie, and let you bid a minute. It's W4 Whiskey Zulu, back to Charlie.
Okay, Joe. W4WZ, the old friend of W4MEC. Okay. Glad you made it. You got to set that alarm clock next time. So, it's only 2 days a week so, to get with us here. But anyway, glad to hear you. Glad to hear you doing okay, staying away from the bugs. Well, that's interesting that the Piggly Wiggly was loaded, but everybody else was not. And perhaps the truck has just made a delivery. Someone commented about the flower owl being out, and I thought that was interesting too. That all of a sudden, all these folks know how to bake. Most of the time, the flower aisle is pretty packed out. A couple specialty flowers are missing if you are a baker. If you bake a lot of bread, you're going to use King Arthur because it's the best bread flour. But usually that might be the product line that's depleted. So perhaps any port in a storm, but apparently folks have remembered how to bake again. And the yeast being gone, well, I guess it's going to be a lot of unleavened bread, so which is okay if you like crackers. But anyway, I think things will pretty much settle down once the hysteria has abated some more, and things will slowly get back to normal. And a couple of these drugs that have been around for 15 years or so that were known to be effective will get dispensed, and once people find out that they're getting well, the pressure will be on to get it out in the field. So we'll see. Ongoing every day. Let's see. And okay, we'll run her down back to Wayne, WA4FTY, and the group W4MEC.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. W4MEC, WA4FTY. You're sounding good, Charlie. Excellent audio. And Lee, you got super audio too. Extraordinarily good audio. Even though I got all this noise racket and atmospherics, appears to be both you and Charlie came right over it. No problem. So Glenn, I hope you copy me. I want to ask you if you can do something for me. That version of RSP1 software, SDR software, would you please use to download it? I find all kind of stuff and I don't know which one to download. It's SDR console, and I got the RSP1. My email is real easy. It's my code. W4FTY. My call is gmail.com. If you can do that for me, I'd appreciate it a whole lot, Glenn. Just send me the link where I can download it. And I'll see if I can learn the curve, the software curve. I don't have much luck doing that, but I'll still give it a try. I guess I've gotten old, and my comprehension's not as good as it used to be. In fact, now that I think about it, nothing is as good as it used to be. But that's a personal problem. But I will appreciate it if you do that for me. And the rain still hadn't got here, but the atmospherics are really noisy. I don't know why. Sure is noisy here though. It's still 59 degrees. Nothing much has changed. but our radio was showing raining shortly. The radar showed it just on the other side of the line. Breeze already getting in. We just haven't got in yet. We could sure use it. It's going to be yellow rain from all this pollen. Everything around here is yellow from the pine trees. The roof is yellow. Our solar panels are yellow. Everything outside is yellow, but I guess y'all know that. And once again, I still don't know who to turn it to. Sorry about that, Jim. I guess I'm just not hearing well. The propagation is messing with me. So back to you, Jim. Send it to the right person, and I'll try to listen this time and get it. K4GE, W4FCY.
Yeah, go ahead, breaking. Yeah, I'm hearing you as good as anybody else on here, Fred. And I just I don't want to interrupt the lineup here, but you're sounding good here. There might be some other reports out there. We'll see if we get any. And let me see. Let me get Al in here. KJ4 YEV, I believe. This is K4 Delta Echo Echo, and the group. Go ahead, Al.
In the group. This is KJ4YEV. Yeah, everybody's signal has come up a little bit since the last go round, but it's still a fairly difficult copy for some of these stations. But hearing everybody copyable anyway. And I heard you saying you're on the DX60. I gotta say that's the best sounding DX60 I've ever heard. I got on your QRZ page, and it's very interesting. I see the solid state VFO, at least I'm assuming it's solid state. I was curious if that's the one you're using or not, and if you're using it for an exciter or if you're running it barefoot. So, Steve, let me turn it over to you. N4LQ, this is KJ4YEV.
Okay, let me get this set here. Okay, this is N4LQ. Yeah, I am using the DX60 that you see in the video and on QRZ, and I did put a DDS VFO in it, and it works very well. It's very easy to change bands with it and set the frequency down to a tenth of a KC, and of course it doesn't drift. So I like it a lot. I have never been able to get the hum out of the audio though, and it's not on CW, it's strictly on AN, and I've done a lot of work trying to get that out. I've improved it some, but it's pretty bad, and it's a pretty common problem with DX60s. We'll get back on it one of these days. Fred down there, you're really, really weak. I could just barely hear something. So Jim will have to relay for you, I guess. And Wayne, on the SDR console, the easy way to get to that, excuse me, the easy way to get to that is to just put it in Google, put it SDR console in Google, and it'll be the first link that comes up, and click on that, and there's the download, and you can download it there. So that's the easy way out. And let's see, Glenn, on the settings for the auto mute, you're pretty close to what I've got. It changes by band a little bit because the leakage through the relay will vary just a bit as you actually varies quite a bit, and but once you get it set, you've got it. So it works pretty good. So on the USB connection for
board where I'm finally copying you guys. At first, I couldn't hear anything on my 80 through 10 in-fed half-wave with my HRO. I mean, I couldn't even hear carriers, and but I switched over to my 160-meter antenna here and my 7610, which I'm using right now, and I could start copying you. But real deep QSB, and you know, I would say I'm copying about 2/3, but it's the hour. You know, losing that hour really kind of hurt things too. But as the net goes on, things are going quite well, or getting better. So anyway, we're being good here. We're hunkered down. We're eating too much. My wife's cooking more and experimenting with dishes, which is great. And I'm working in the yard a little bit. I did sneak off yesterday to go to Krispy Kreme and do the drive-through there. So we're still eating donuts here. And then today I went to one of the local stores, and the paper aisle is still wiped out. And there was an awful lot of people at the store today. So, but anyway, hopefully they're all following the protocols. But that's it for me. I'm going to keep it going here. Jim, I'm going to pass it back to you because I'm not sure who comes after me. So because I couldn't hear the list. So back to you, Jim. K4DEE and the old friends. This is KN4R. Over.
Yeah, very fine, Brian, and everybody else. It's sort of modular here at times, but I've got a Q5 reading on everybody. Readability-wise, I should say. Anyway, so keep it rolling. And now, Don, over to you. N4YN. This K4DEE in the group. Over.
Yeah, a little bit of QSB here too, but it's not a big problem now. I cut the amp on, I think. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Okay, maybe I'm a little more heard than I was. Running about, maybe 50, 60 watts, looks like now. Anyhow, that's strange. This is Gon's G70, G66, the little mobile twins, and I don't have a modulation transformer, so it's running screen modulation. Not many tubes left in this radio, but receiver's doing excellent well. I'm running a in-fed 160 meter wire, 259 feet long, courtesy of Steve helping me get the right transformer instead of bailing, and it seems to be working out real well. Actually works better on 75 meters than a 75 meter dipole. I'll hush and let everybody else have it. I guess it's about time for everybody to wind down anyway. Appreciate the conversations. Everybody's doing good. Even I'm hearing George pretty good down at the beach too. So 73's from Burnsville. Let's see.
Okay, Bob.
Jim, I guess, go ahead. We'll turn it back to you.
I've only been up to like 7.
Catch y'all later down the log. N4YN.
Okay.
We'll see y'all later. N473.
Come up a fair amount, and like Brian was saying, you know, the time thing was another thing for alternating the time there was another big factor. Let me get it back to the beginning of the group. I know Joe's up there and a few others that are waiting. Fred over here came on, and he's about the same signal level here, Fred, as you were in the past. That's W3 BKR, and that's just a mile or two from my house. So I'm hearing him, quite good. But that's the extent of it. I guess the antenna or power might be the next way to go. So if he has an amplifier, that would probably help if you could boost that up to another couple of dB. And with that, Joe, I don't want to hold it any longer here, but I do want to hear how's everything going. Evidently, you and the cat are getting along fine, and you don't sound like you got any hunger pains, so you got plenty of food in the house, I hope. So W4WZ. And swing it back to me, or swing it up to Dave there, if you would, Joe. Dave would probably like to speak to you there, too. So W4WZ to take it. This is K4DEE, and the Old Friends Group standing by.
Okay, little bit of trouble copying that. I have... in addition to my other problems, I have a hearing problem. And after all, you know, I'm pushing 96. In a couple of months or 3 months, I'll be 96. Everything is wearing out and winding down, and you know, I got to make the best of it. But anyway, I'll have to get out of here and clean my hearing aids up and change the batteries in them and everything. We had been trouble with the copy, but everybody's got good movement signals. It's just a garbage that I have to listen to. Anyway, I'm not sure who all's in here. I guess there's a pretty good crowd for the day. And we, like everybody else, trying to find places that are open. And the kids have been pretty good to try to keep me in line here with food. And they're doing their best too. Got all 3 kids now are down here in Spartanburg County now. The other boy from Missouri. He's 13 years in Missouri. He's back in Spartanburg and dating a young lady. His marriage broke up, so he left the wife back in Missouri, and he's here dating another young gal, and he brings her around, and we have chats. So anyway, between the young lady and the cat, and they entertain me. And tell me, well, anyhow, this whole thing, ultimately, I hope will blow through. I mean, we've been through this stuff before, some of it, and you just have to bear with it. I don't know how many of us will survive it. I try to wash my hands, but it's doubly hard to keep your hands off your face. Anyway, it's just natural that you put your hands up around your face someplace, and it's just doubly hard to keep that out. But anyway, we'll do what we can. I'm right now wondering about the drugstores and the drugs. I'm taking about 5 different drugs, and if I run out of those, you know, I could be in some pretty bad trouble. But anyway, we'll make do with what we got here. And so I'm not sure who it goes to. I want to apologize for being late. Lee called in, and I couldn't understand what he was trying to say. But the first time, so I'm having my tough day today. But I think I'll pass it back to you, Jim, and let you straighten it out. And I'll be here till the bitter end. So, Jim, you K4DEE, you go ahead and straighten it out, and then just I'll be till the bitter end. W4 Whiskey Zulu, bye.
Yeah, okay, Joe. Very fine. I'm glad to hear you in here today. I'm glad you got to get out of the sack and get on the radio. And I want to also compliment you for having the fortitude to get on the radio. Period. And a lot of people would hesitate, and you've got a lot of good friends here. And it's strange. They give the people ratings as far as the possibility of catching a particular medical problem there. As you get older, the percentage-wise goes down, 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 down. And I got it down to I'm over 80 now, a couple of years, and I guess I'm getting down below the number 1, and they start going to percentages of 0.5 and 0.7 or whatever else, and I don't know. You gotta get these facts squared away, whereby we get some higher numbers as we get in our senior years. And I respect your fortitude and the getting involved in things. So we'll keep it rolling here and see what Dave has to say. WA4LLR. Go ahead, Dave. K4DWE.
Okay, Jim. K4DEE and the group, WA4LLR. Not much more here. Enjoyed it. Joe, good to hear you. Sounding good up here in the hills. Glad you're doing okay. Everybody have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. And we'll look for you Tuesday, Lord willing. And Jim, I don't know if you're sending it all the way around again or not, but I can turn it on down to George if he's still there. K4GDN of the group, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR and the group's K4GDN. Yeah, I'm still here. And I know about the Piggly Wiggly there in Hollywood. About a sister that lives there in Hollywood, actually on Young's Island, but it's on down the street from that. That's amazing. Anytime I'm down there, I stop in there and look at the songs. It's kind of hard to find it here in Myrtle Beach, and it was hard to find sometimes in Greenville. I really like that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to say 73 on this one. That band does seem to be improving a little bit, and hopefully I'll be in here on Tuesday. And Jim, thanks for calling in there. Appreciate it. So I guess I'll pass it to Bear if he's still around. WF2U in the group K4GDN. 73, guys.
Roger, K4GDN and the group, WF2U. Yeah, okay, very good all the way around, so I'm not going to hold this too long. But, well, that shall pass too. All these trials and tribulations, some inconveniences, but well, the way I think about it is that, I have more time to work in the shack. Once I finish, and if it still goes on for a few weeks, once I finish a few things around the house, I'll have more time to do things here. Need a lot of maintenance and various stuff. Anyway, 73 all, take care, keep the distance, and stay healthy all. And I think I'll try to get on Tuesday. I never have time to get on Tuesday, but now the Tuesday morning training is postponed indefinitely until things go back to normal. So I'm around. Oh, John, it's nice to hear, and I'm glad you got that video conferencing together, and I think it's really important that even without contact you could stay in touch, and that's of course is of everybody's concern, and that's a good way to do it. So 73 all, and maybe Tuesday I'll be here too. So the next is, of course, W2CQH that I didn't forget this time. And the group, this is WFTU saying 73, but I'll be listening.
Okay, I couldn't hear whether I was out of the room here. Read is W2CQH. I was keeping track of my son, and I forgot about the group. Let's see, John. K1VVC. Pick it up, John.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I think Reed probably went to have dinner, and just hope everybody stays nice and healthy and gets a little bit of time on the air, and hopefully we'll. I might even be able to make it this Tuesday because all my classes at the gym are canceled. And like you, Jim, I don't know if you've still been going or not, but definitely miss that. It's one of the things that get used to, and definitely miss that. So everybody stay healthy, and see you on the, if not Tuesday, next Sunday. N4AK K1VVC.
Okay, John, K1VVC in the Old Friends group, November 4 Alpha Kilo, and Wayne, just look on Google or whatever for SDR console. The latest version is 3. You should see 3, and you maybe see something under it. It's by Simon Brown, SIMONBROWN. So try that. Otherwise, it's www.sdr-radio.com. But I think it'd be better just look it up on SDR console and look. It'll probably have version 3. And okay, Steve, I'm a little confused though. What you said, you say look for RSP1. Actually, OmniRig has the Icon 7300 in it, and what I'm trying to do is have the software follow my 7300, and I hadn't been able to do that yet. So maybe I'll talk to you later tonight or sometime. You can clear me up or just send me an email because I only have one USB cable going between the I've got a USB cable going between the RSP1 and the computer, and I've got one going from the 7300 to the computer. So maybe I don't have the right COM port. I'm going to use the COM port, which is the Silicon X, I believe, is the one I should probably use. Anyway, won't tie it up. Thanks, everybody, for being on the net. It's very enjoyable this afternoon. So, Charlie, if you can stand by for a few minutes after the net, I'd appreciate it. And for AK, over to W4VRO.
Yeah, I think he's probably signed. Go ahead, Lee, if you're still there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just listening. It's good to hear everybody. It's been a good net. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Jim, thank you very much for handling it. And I turned it over to Charlie. 7-3, God bless everybody. I'll see you Tuesday morning on the air. W4MEC in the group, K4VWD.
Very good, Lee. K4VWD and the Old Friends, W4MEC. Yep. 7-3 to all. Good net. We'll look for you on Tuesday, and I will hang around Glenn. WA4FTY, over to you. One last time, W4MEC.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. WA4FTY, thank you, Glenn. I haven't had much luck with that SDR stuff, but I'll keep plugging at it. Thank you, Glenn. Whatever you told me was a little bit too fast. I didn't get anything jotted down, but we'll keep working on it. And I got the SDR1, what I got. It's not terribly important. I got the 7300 and this other stuff, but I was just monkeying with it, trying to get it to work. It's too good to hear everybody, those I can hear. My noise level's been horrific today. And still the rain hasn't started. But the radar said it's real close by, but it still hasn't started. Maybe Reed's getting all of it. That's about all I got. 7-3s, everybody. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Not much difference between wealthy and healthy, but healthy's better than wealthy. I can tell you that for a certainty. And Jim, I think the call it goes to is YEV. I didn't get the gentleman's handle, but I can't copy him at all, but I heard YEV or something. Well, go ahead, old man, if you copy me and pick it up. WA4FTY. 7-3s, everybody.
WA4FTY on the net. This is KJ4YEV. Guys, I just want to say I thoroughly enjoyed the net today. Jim, thank you for calling it. Good Lord willing, I'll be here next Sunday, so hope I'll just pray everybody stays safe and healthy. I'll say 73 for now. KJ4YEV and over to Steve, N4L King. Take it away, Steve.
Okay, very good. N4LQ and the old friends. This is Brian, KN4R with final rounds, and I want to second Steve's offer. I hope to hear some of you tonight with our humble group there on 1864 at 8:30. So with that, I will say 73s. I enjoyed the last half of the net once I started hearing things here. Always a pleasure. Everybody take care, hunker down, and stay safe. And over to you, Don. Sorry I messed up the rotation last time. N4YN. You sound great here. This is KN4R. And I guess Don's gone. So back to you, Jim. K4DEE, KN4R.
Okay, Brian. Yeah, very fine. And I'd like to watch TV on, it started years ago, Sunday night video, Sunday night TV. And for some reason, I still enjoy Sunday night TV. And that used to be big time, 70 years ago. But if nothing's on the tube, we'll stop by and see you guys. And a lot of times I'll listen for a little while and just not get wrapped up in something unless I really have to grab the microphone. But I enjoy all your companies, really. And I want to thank everybody for showing up here today. A little bit of a sideband coming in from somewhere, but it's not bothering anybody really. And a little bit of a path fade is existing now, whereby we had noise previously, and that's diminished a bit, and a lot of the owl signals from the group come up a little bit. So, but there is more QSB. So anyway, thanks again, and you all have a good week. Hope you're able to find the TP if you're looking for it, and as was posted, Piggly Wiggly, if you want to travel a few miles, probably has the items you're looking for. Thanks a lot, Lee. This is K4DEE and the group 73s.
Thank you, Jim. You did good as always. Thank you very much. From WA4F2I-73.
Charlie N4AK, take an S meter reading on me right now, if you would. Over.
I just did stare at it, and luckily my RF gain was fully open.